Good evening and welcome to Rauta's Reviews. Today's band is Swallow the Sun from Finland with their brand new album Moonflowers. As it seems to be, Swallow the Sun has indeed grown to be one of the most successful bands in Finland, and that is metal bands. And that is kind of a strange and yet great, because the band's music is not the most easy to sell, the most easy to get fans with. I mean, it's sad, it's dramatic, it's doomy, and, well, beyond that, it's not the most approachable music. It's not as sexy as some, hard rock bands or heavy metal bands, or not as cool and dangerous as some of the black metal bands. But there is some very majestic features, some really great atmosphere, and beyond that with Swallow the Sun. Now, as you can see, this new album comes with a nice double digipack CD format, which features the cover art by Juha Raibio, the main man of the band, who has also, obviously, I don't know how many people know that, but all the music as well, and the lyrics. So there is plenty of his heart and mind and soul on this album. But that is not to say that the other artists on the album are just, people who just play the music. Obviously, everybody in this band have their own role, and they are key parts of the whole deal here. But still, to say it out loud, this is most importantly kind of a one-man show where others are key roles, but not the captains of the band. Now, as you can see, this one features two CDs indeed. The main CD, Moonflowers, is the one here, running for some 53 minutes, a little bit less. And then we have this Trio Knox plays Moonflowers live at Sipo Church, which features the same 8 tracks, but as instrumental versions. Well, mostly. There are a little bit of whispers here and there. And that is only 32 minutes or so in total length, even though it features these tracks on violins and cello. So here it is, the whole track list once again. 8 tracks plus the CD 2. So this is the new album by Swallow the Sun, to be released on, I think it was 19th of November. That's at least true according to Metal Archives and probably promotional letters. Anyway, this is a new album which is very, very autumnal. I would even say this is kind of a near perfect soundtrack for autumn, because it's very, very dark, it's very, very sad in a way, and it's the kind of a gloomy album that, well, people are kind of bound to expect from a band known as Swallow the Sun. Now, some people call it melodic doom death. Some probably do use a lot of different words for the band, but I would say it's mostly melodic, gloomy doom metal. Why would I choose that way instead of just doom death is that while there are crawler parts, while there are even screamer vocal parts, it's definitely more on the doomier side. That is because of the vocals here are mainly clean and really, really beautiful, mind you. There's a lot of emotion in these songs, and I really don't know if calling it doom death really does justice to that. I mean, obviously, if you really expand that to cover all the My Dying Bride releases as well, clean vocals or not, maybe then doom death kind of does justice, especially if you're thinking that pure doom artists are the ones that are more nodding to kind of a heavy metal like of doom metal. That is the Black Sabbath school of music and all that stuff. But whatever it is, I am not so much interested in what kind of a puristic views you particular or anybody out there has on doom or doom death. This is not that interesting, but what is in fact is that why the music is so goddamn good. Let's start with the maybe least interesting part, production. Production on this album is really, really top notch. I could even say as much as perfect because I really couldn't figure out which way it could be better. The guitars sound really clean, crisp, nice, and powerful. They sound heavy and they match the music perfectly. Drums, just everything on the backgrounds, keyboards, everything is right there, perfectly balanced. And in my opinion, it supports the music, like I said, perfectly. The vocals, then again, they really have that kind of emotion, which I tried to explain already. There's a lot of passion, and passion is more like about tragic parts rather than, love and nice feeling. And there is a variety of these things going on throughout the album. You have these clean vocals which dominate the whole thing here, but you also have these growler parts which kind of create the contrast. And then towards the end, there are these screamer parts by Mikko, the vocalist, who, by the way, in case you didn't know, had his own black metal bands in the past, and as such he is experienced in that field also. So there's a lot of different styles of vocals, but the clean ones are most dominating, and for a good reason. They're really, really good. I think Mikko has totally improved his role over the years, and he has never been a bad vocalist. That's not the case here, but, obviously over the years, it seems like he's even more capable of doing those great vocals, and that obviously nails the whole deal here. But the bottom line is, the skeleton of the whole deal here is music, the riffs and all that stuff. I'll start with the negative parts. The second album, which features these same riffs basically, with violins and cello, well, they kind of approved that. Obviously a good riff is a good riff, doesn't matter which kind of instrument you use it, flute or guitar or piano. But it's clear that these songs were made to be played in a metal way. And as such, the instrumental version is kind of like a pale version of the whole deal here. Maybe it's for the biggest fans out there who are like, yeah, this just goes and touches my heart and soul very, very deeply. But to be honest, I was a little bit bored with 3 spins of that. I mean, especially when you compare it to the main dish of the whole deal here. That is the CD number 1, which features all the instruments, the vocals, and, get the whole deal here. And that proves that, once again, there's a great songwriting here. There's a very, very interesting selection of riffs and melodies, which then again kind of get glued to each other seamlessly. Most importantly, it's kind of fun to notice that there's lots of clean electric guitar. That is not so much distortion. And these parts are maybe the most beautiful ones. There are no mediocrity when it comes to riffs or songs here. Everything fits in place. There is no parts which feel like unnecessary or that they don't belong here. And the songwriting is in good hands, and also when it comes to the length of the songs. That is, while these songs are some 5-7 minutes per individual song, it all sounds like, yeah, this is how it's gonna be. It's not some kind of a music that you just squeeze into 3 minutes or less and yeah, let's move on, like a hit song. But then again, they are not also expanded to be something like 12 or 20 minutes, epic tales. So it's still rather compact in terms of doom metal. And I think it is very, very good that it's like that. If I had to pick a favorite song, I would say definitely it's the last song. Maybe because of its diversity, but it's also partially because of its lyrics. That is the only one that when I had the digital promo copy of the album, the lyrics started to, pour in my ears right away. There was something kind of moving in that. And when I was browsing the rest of the lyrics as well, when I got the physical copy here, I felt that is probably the song of the album. Now, all these lyrics, based on just one quick browse, basically reading them quickly through, they all seem to have these kind of grievance, sorrow, sadness, tragic parts and all that stuff, which is then again kind of reflected from the individual experiences. Obviously, we don't want to go through that any more than that, but yeah, there is something very, very fitting with the music, the lyrics, the cover, and the inside graphics, which are really, really neat also. Overall, I would say Moonflowers is a beautiful album. And mind you, this is coming from a person who is not that much into doom metal overall. Like there is a lot of bands which do quality doom or doom death or whatever, and most of them are just like not my cup of tea, even though they might be really skilled with their music. Now the thing is, I come from the more, say, aggressive background. That is more black death, trash and all that stuff. But when a music is very, very nicely done, when it's perfected with great production, good vocals, lyrics and all that stuff, things click. And I just can't lie to myself and say like, yeah, this is not my cup of tea, I want more aggression. Like I said, this is a near perfect album for this kind of autumnal mood. Like now we're in the mid of November and things are freezing outside. Lakes are already getting that icing. So many plants are going to die, and nights are dark, evenings already are really, really dark, and it's like the whole world is preparing, at least here in Finland, for the winter to come. And this is like the soundtrack to that. We're not there to die in the darkness and cold just yet, but it's coming, and Swallow the Sun is delivering a perfect, or at least near perfect soundtrack for that. So really, really good album by these guys. And what can I say? I hope a lot more people will be checking out this album. Like I said, it's out on 19th of November 2021. So give it a listen, read some of the lyrics. And like I said, these kind of albums definitely come in better form when they're physical copies rather than just digital ones. With that information, do what you must, do what you will. This is Rauta. Enjoy some Swallow the Sun.